was not just an encounter, it was an infiltration bid.
Well, in fact, I've just got an official confirmation from the Border Security Force, and they have confirmed that 7 terrorists have been neutralized. They were basically trying to cross over, and there has been extensive damage that has been inflicted upon the Pakistani post of Dhandhar. In fact, we've also accessed exclusive visuals, a clip that is the thermal imaging clip of the destruction of Pakistan post Dhandhar is also enclosed. That's the first on your cameras, first on Republic, that we are getting in the thermal imaging that is on your screens right now. And I'm just going to explain what you're seeing right now. This is the Dhandhar post from where we are being given to understand that the infiltration bid was actually made. This was on the intervening night of 8th and 9th. An infiltration attempt was basically made by a big group. Now, in fact, this is exactly what they're saying. A big group of terrorists were trying to infiltrate, which has now been detected by the surveillance grid. The infiltration bid was supported by fire from Pakistan Rangers post Dhandhar. So this is exactly why. Now, Abhishek, just put this, join the dots. What we are seeing right now, the heavy shelling that's taking place, and this information that we put out this morning, that this was only being the only reason why you're seeing an increased cover fire that is being provided is because you have the Pakistanis trying to infiltrate a bigger group. The point here, a bigger group of terrorists were being tried to infiltrate, and we are being told the troops of the Border Security Force were able to neutralize 7 of these terrorists. An additional detail that I can share right now is that these are Jaish terrorists who are basically trying to infiltrate, and they have now been neutralized. There are 2 big news points emerging. One with regards to a larger group of terrorists trying to infiltrate. Was it more than 7? As of now, we are given to understand that it was more than 7, but 7 have been neutralized. That's number 1. Number 2, it is as far as the Pakistani post of Dhandhar is concerned. Remember, this is also an information that we broke earlier in the day, that the Pakistani posts have been decimated, but now the Border Security Force also confirming that the Pakistani post in Dhandhar has been completely decimated. On your screens right now, it's the clip of the destruction of a Pakistani post Dhandhar, which has been, which we have just put out. My colleague Gursimran is also joining us. Gursimran, you have also spoken to your sources here in the national capital, the BSF headquarters. Now, giving us a copy of this very clip. The clip, this is the thermal imaging that has been done. Perhaps you could just, walk us through the details of this clip that has gone on air, and we'll just go full frame right now with these details emerging of how the Pakistani post has been completely decimated.
Shawan, what has happened late last night at around 10:30, there was the credible HHTI evidences, that is the footage of the HHTI camera with the Border Security Force, that a group of Jaish terrorists, a large group, 6 to 8 terrorists was the number of groups, they were coming towards the Indian territory. While they were behind the Pakistani post, the BSF took the shot. They were neutralized at that very given point, but their bodies and their deaths were not confirmed at that immediate point of time. What happened that after the BSF opened the fire, it was a precision strike at these terrorists that the BSF troops have carried out. What Pakistani post Dhandhar did, they actually targeted the BSF locations. There were heavy artillery, 80 mm artillery that was used on the BSF troops, after which the BSF retaliated, and there was heavy exchange of fire. The BSF did a lot of damage to the Pakistani post and also to the Pakistani Rangers that were helping the terrorists to escape. Even some of the vehicles were also brought in by the Pakistani Rangers so that they can evacuate these terrorists to a safer location. But BSF continued their firing throughout the night, and there has not been even a single injury to the BSF team that was led by the DIG assessment. That is what, and then saw that they were able to neutralize these 7 terrorists, at least 7 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed that were trying to sneak in into the Indian territory at that time when the Pakistan carried out these air strikes, these drone strikes and the missile strikes into India, so that the Pakistan was of the view that on the one hand India will be looking into these swarm drone strikes, and then they will be in an easy position to push this larger group of Jaish-e-Mohammed to the Indian territory to carry out a major terror attack. See, this comes at a time when days prior prior to this infiltration, the family members and the close associates of the Jaish chief, they have been killed in the Indian strikes. So possibly the Jaish was planning some retaliation, but that retaliation has been brutally decimated by the border security force at the Samba international border by killing 7 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed.
All right, clearly this is an attempt at taking benefit of the chaos which Pakistan is creating and infiltrating terrorists yet again. Mr. Sachdeva, you think this is the most dastardly designs of Pakistan really? On the one hand, they are escalating with those drone swarm attacks so that Indian security forces engage there. And then behind that fog of war, they are infiltrating and trying to infiltrate, of course, neutralized by the BSF, trying to infiltrate more terrorists of the Jaish-e-Mohammed inside Jammu and Kashmir, obviously aimed at mayhem of the Pahalgam kind yet again. Pakistan really not backing off from its terror machine, terror factory, and terror as a state policy.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, if there's a term for it, maybe a hybrid. Pakistan, indulges in hybrid or maybe, multi-dimensional assaults against India. And this has been its, modus operandi since long. And by the way, fair enough, these are terrorists, but it could be Pakistani trained commandos also along with them. Pakistan's interest right now is in creating whatsoever ways it can some chaos, some disturbance, some damage in India. And therefore, I think they're going out, all out. As of now, okay, one saving perspective I see, it seems that whatever the conflict is, it seems to be limited, if I could use the term, in the north and the west of India, up to maybe a few hundred up to 100 kilometers or so.
Yeah.
So that seems to be the the swath of land or geography where Pakistan is attempting to attack us. Secondly, when we were looking at the debris of the drones or missiles which are there, obviously they would have been struck down with our air defense systems on their way, so fallen wherever the debris. But I would be interested to see where the duds, if there are any duds which fell.
Yeah.
In nearby maybe any civilian area, that would indicate that their guidance systems or their accuracy is pretty much off the mark, right? So if there are some duds which are found, it shows that they are low quality guidance systems, I would think. And secondly, yes, the debris, if they fall, could fall anywhere. It depends where the drones or missiles were headed.
Yeah. Obviously, they were headed on our side and they have been effectively neutralized. More pictures of these are basically that CCTV infrared pictures of the attempt by Pakistan to infiltrate some terrorists and the BSF taking down that post. This is the explosion, the moment when the post was taken down. I believe we have to take a quick short break, and then we come back with our rolling coverage.